Okay. Let me explain to you guys a little bit about psychopaths or sociopaths. I don't know, I'm not a psychologist or criminal psychologist or police officer or anything like that. But I think a lot of times we tend to think that psychopaths are crazy people hiding in the bushes, with the raincoat and a butcher knife, ready to kill someone. And psychopaths do sometimes do that. But really, also, I believe psychopaths are about people who, it's something about like they're kind of delusional and they have like a completely different reality. It's like they believe their lies and deception, and then it's like they don't have any remorse or have any, or it's like they don't feel like any consequence for their actions, especially if like other people get hurt or they're going to be in danger. It's like they're kind of glazed over, like they can't empathize or even feel that. So it's kind of like they don't have any, almost like they don't have a conscience, or like that conscience doesn't kick in and things. I mean, a lot of time, I mean, don't get me wrong, people lie all the time. People bully and try and control all the time. But then at some point, when you clearly see that it's not working or things are kind of crumbling, people might still try and put up a fight, but then slowly they might realize, like, all right, I don't want to get in trouble, or, I know I wasn't really in the right either. So, they kind of back off, or they just kind of let things play out. I really feel that this guy is kind of, well, and this is another thing. A lot of psychopaths and sociopaths, it's not like they're just all crazy all the time. They can be very charming. They can be very alluring with their personality, very charismatic. They can be real people, like a people person, very popular. And this is what makes them kind of very unassuming. And this is how this guy was. I mean, I know like the serial killer Ted Bundy and a lot of, crazy, wild, like serial killers like that. And they're not always serial killers either. But what I mean is that they're very smart and they're very cunning and very clever. And they're very good at reading people and knowing how to stroke people and knowing how to really, kind of hit at the vulnerabilities of a person, as well as like play on their strength and everything. So this guy was the same way. I mean, like I said, I knew him a month. We were taking this course together, spending a lot of time together. In the class, he was very delightful, he was very pleasant, fun, funny, like, very, not innocent, but just very like meek and mild, and a lot of people liked him. I liked him too. I mean, it was crazy. Like, there's no way you would think that he would be acting this way. Now, yes, like I said, I wasn't under any illusion that this guy, the tourist, study abroad guy, that I met in Berkeley, I didn't think he was going to be the same business person, living in his home, well, not his home country of the last 10 years, because he's from Korea. But, I knew he was going to be a different type of person as far as being an employer and, making sure that his business is, meeting its goals and everything. But I had no idea he was going to act this crazy, honestly. So I had talked to somebody who was part of this program with me in the United States who knew him also. And they said, you know what? It's funny that you're saying this because, I had an incident with him where he wanted me to do something, and he was very, very smiling, very nice, and oh yes, yeah, and everything. And then when they didn't do it, it's like they saw him kind of turn, and it's like he got very upset, and very cold. So it wasn't just me and everything. So anyway, we're having this meeting. And, I expressed to him, it wasn't working out. And we had both agreed that after a month, in the United States, we agreed to this, that, and even I had, talked to my job placement counselor saying like, yeah, he said if it doesn't work out, we could part ways. And so then he asked me, he said, okay, well, you can get your documents back, your passport and degrees. And so when are you going back to the United States? And the thing is, I have more time on my visa. I don't have to go back right away. And then also, you can even leave at the end of your visa, fly to a neighboring country, and then you can return back in. People do it all the time. So I don't have to return to the United States. And I never said anything about returning. I just kind of left it and was very vague. So when I would not, he said, well, I need your word and I need to know that you're definitely going back to the United States. And I could lie and just be like, oh yeah. But no, why? I don't have to lie to you. Like, really, at the end of the day, it's not in your business what I'm doing anymore. And I just said to him, I said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do. I said, I need to explore my options. And, I wanted to give you the courtesy and speak with you first and let you know my decision and, get my documents and go from there. And then, boom, it's like I saw him, it's like he kind of switched into this other person. And then he was looking like, no. When are you going back to the United States? And he tried to get loud. So then I hear the children outside, bless their hearts, my students at the time, and they're looking in like the window, like, hey teacher, and everything. Hey, Miss Robin, and everything. And I'm like, hey guys, no. And then, and again, I'm trying to be very calm because I really wanted to go off on this dude and just be like, look, you've been lying since I've gotten here. And, but I said, no, because then if you engage that energy, it's just going to make it worse. I just kept being very zen and very calm and very peaceful and just saying I'm protected and I'm balanced and centered and calm. I'm not going to give into this guy's, ego and then get my ego all riled up. And then we would just be having this dance of like pain and madness, and not getting anywhere. So then he starts saying, you're very nice. You're very nice. You're very nice. You're very innocent and pure. You have a pure heart. And because of that, I think people are taking advantage of you because you weren't like this before you were sick. I think those people that you've been talking to, they're trying to convince you of things and they're trying to lie to you. And that's right, you can't trust everybody. I mean, it was so crazy because it's like on one hand, I am very nice. I am very kind. I did have pure intentions. I did want this to work. And then it was like he was switching into this very like cerebral and calm and, kind of like, oh, I was afraid this was going to happen. And, you've been terribly influenced and, you know what, we can work this out. And that's fine if you want to go back. That's fine. And I'll give you your documents. And I just need some time. I just need some time. I need some time to find a replacement. And I was kind of like, yeah, So then I'm like I wasn't like buying into what he was saying, but it was like he was trying to like appeal to my heart in a way. Again, like this vulnerability or whatever, and just kind of, and then it's like when he was saying I needed time, I thought he meant like, yeah, like he needs some time to find a replacement. He's like, do you think you can help me find a replacement? And I mean, there's no way in hell I would send anybody to that school. But at that point, I was just like, oh, sure, yeah, And I really was just gonna just say whatever, it took in that moment, because at this point I was like, this guy's freaking me out really. So then he says, and I just need time to find a replacement. And I think you're just experiencing culture shock and it's going to pass. And, maybe after that first month, next month, you'll feel so much better. And then you'll have more time to yourself. And then it was like, he was like spinning this like web of deception. Next thing you know, it's like he's trying to get me to continue to work with him for another month or two and then possibly stay until I feel better. I said, So then finally, again, I had to put my foot down. And I said, look, SKB, it's not working. All right? It's time to part ways. And I don't want to go to court. I don't want you to take me to court. It's not worth it. It's going to just cause more issues really for you. And let's just handle this as adults. And we gave it a try. We both invested in it. It didn't work. This partnership's not working. And that's it. And I mean, really, at the end of the day, it's like he wasn't respectful to me. I didn't respect him. I didn't like the way he treated me. And I wasn't gonna even get into all of that because I had already made my decision. It wasn't gonna work. And then again, as I'm talking, I'm not yelling or anything, but I start talking a little bit more forceful and direct and to the point and looking, straight at him and everything. And he did not like that because he hadn't really seen that side of me because I've been really acting really docile and, just kind of playing things down, letting him underestimate me. And when I did that, he was like, "You're raising your voice," and like started like kind of yelling. And then he was like really using this American accent. It was so bizarre and it was so weird. And that's when I'm like, okay, you know what? Get out the room. Don't ever meet with this guy alone again. I mean, I didn't feel like immediate danger, but I did feel like, I mean, he did kind of rattle me a little bit. Like I was like, nope. Seen too many Lifetime movies. I'm out of here. And like, the kids were outside and everything. So then I was like, again, it's like I was getting emotional, like, and I don't really just rattle easily. I mean, I freaking went through, law school and was in politics and did some work in business. And I mean, I've worked with some very aggressive people, very strong people, very intimidating people who very powerful and everything else. And it's like I just don't rattle that easily. But I think something in me, it was like some real fear about this guy. Like, you don't know what this guy is capable of. So I just said, okay, I need my documents back. And then he starts getting up. He did have to teach and the students were coming in. And then the last thing he says, if you can't show me that you're going back to the United States immediately, I'll see you in court. And then he walks off.